Welcome everyone. Mr. Wolf here with Boltron Racing Team. Today's a special night. I have a special guest here, Icy Fire, joining us for our 100 subscriber celebration. That's right, we hit 100 subscribers. Uh, I'm really happy about that. This is a very niche community, Deep Racer, and super excited. So, Icy Fire, why don't you introduce yourself real quick?
Hey everyone, I am Icy Fire. I am Mr. Wolf's, I think you call it protege, right? So I'm the Luke Skywalker to Mr. Wolf's Yoda, or I guess the
Apprentice.
Palpatine.
I
Oh
think
yeah, sorry,
apprentice.
apprentice. The
Oh, you
Palpatine, or Mr. Wolf is my Palpatine, and
You
I'm
just
Darth
you
Vader.
just you just admitted that you're not a real Star Wars fan. Sorry. A Padawan. I guess Padawan might be an even better word. But
Yeah, the Padawan is the right word, but
yeah,
yeah,
Padawan.
if I want to keep the word cross genre.
So Icy Fire, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is a special, special day. Um, yeah, we go way back. We've worked on Deep Racer in the past, and we I guess we share that common interest. But we also share a very strong interest in technology, in hardware, GPUs, all that kind of stuff. So today we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff. I see tons and tons of people in the chat here. Thanks so much for logging in tonight. Uh, if people have questions, please post them in the chat and we'll respond. So I guess for today we were going to do something a little different. We had
So
a couple.
before we get started, I
Yeah,
did
go
want
ahead,
to
go ahead.
congratulate you, Mr. Wolf, on reaching 100 subscribers. It's
Thank you.
definitely been a labor of love for you. I've seen your channel grow from the start. And yeah,
Yeah,
congratulations once again.
thanks. Yeah, this is purely for fun. There's no pure passion project at the end of the day. So thanks for that. So we have a few topics just to talk about real quick here. Um, let's keep it light, let's keep it casual. I know there's people probably interested in Deep Racer, people probably interested in our thoughts on GPUs and things like that. Icy Fire, what you got for us? What's the first topic for tonight?
So this has been a very interesting last month on the technology front. The Intel and AMD CPU launch happened. Uh, a very interesting demand for those products. The NVIDIA GPUs launched, or I
Hmm.
guess three GPUs, only the top range. They want to they want to move people towards more expensive ones. Google is shutting down Stadia is another one. Ethereum proof of stake completed in the last 1 month. It will be very interesting to discuss that. The EU voted for a common charger for all electronic devices. Will be very interesting to see how Apple responds to that. And LG are finally starting production of their new 27-inch OLED panels. So yeah, a very, very interesting month.
Let,
September and October are definitely the tech months.
yeah, let's
Yeah,
talk
go
let's
ahead.
talk GPUs because I think that's something we all can relate to. I see the 4090 as the only thing worth buying in the 4000 series. Like I really think the other ones are just overkill, but or not overkill, but kind of ripoffs. But I
Yeah,
think what people should be thinking about is snatching up the 3090s, the older generation, 3000 series. For
yeah.
gamers, I think 3060 Ti is more than enough. For AI, a 3090 at $1,000 is awesome in my mind for 24 gigs of RAM. So anyway, I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, I have similar views. I feel like the 4090 is a big improvement over 3090. So people who have a 4K monitor, and I think the Samsung has its highest end 4K monitor line that goes up to 144 hertz. I think for those people, getting the 4090 might be worth it. I think for the rest of the people, sticking to like a 3080, which is retailing for around 600 bucks,
Oh my
is a very
God,
good deal.
that is insane. Like I
Yeah,
remember that was going for what, 1500, 1600 before.
yep,
I I I mean honestly that's the only reason I think the 4090 is okay because I unfortunately had to buy a 3090 at like $2,000.
unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm in pain right now about that. but I paid the iron price. I stood in line at Micro Center overnight. I did not pay a scalper. I stood in line and got myself a beautiful ROG Strix white overclock edition 3090. It was painful to pay that much for it, but it's a beautiful card, which I then proceeded to kill and murder by water cooling it. So I feel so terrible doing that now.
I also wonder like what is the idea behind these prices? So like the 3090 launches at 1600, which sort of makes sense because it's a successor to the 4090 is a successor to 3090 that launched for 1500. But if you look at the 4080 12 gig, which is basically a successor to the 3070, that's a price increase of 300 bucks, which I think is pretty massive. That's a direct 50% price increase.
Yeah, and
I guess the point is to move lower, like the 3000 series, because it's going to be a lot cheaper.
I don't know. I also the memory bus is I think memory bandwidth is a problem, right?
Yeah,
Um, I think the 4090 is the only one that makes sense. So 4090 or nothing. But I would go with the 3000 series. It's so much cheaper. And let's face it, you can play. I mean, I was going to do a video where I played Fortnite on a 3090, but
yeah,
I think people would be very upset at me if I did that. But it's just overkill as it is for most games anyway. So
yeah. I agree. I think 4090 is like a clearly a rich person's card. I
for
think the
sure,
people
yeah,
who
for
will
sure.
buy a 4090 don't really care about like specs or anything like that. They're just like, okay, just give me the most expensive, the best card. I think most people who are even a little bit price conscious will definitely not go for a 4090.
Yeah, true, true, true. All right, well, what's next on the topic list? Intel GPUs, right? Would you even consider buying an Intel GPU? I know I wouldn't.
So I was looking into it, and it's very interesting. I looked at a few videos. I think Gamers Nexus had one, LTT had one. It was very interesting to see that the 750, the Arc 750, is very competitive, but it's only competitive in DX12 games where it's actually optimized. And anything below that, it has basically like for DX9, DX10 games like Counter CS:GO,
Hmm.
it directly has a translation layer that converts the game from DX9 to DX12. And the drop off in performance is massive. And there was a very good comparison that LTT did, which basically said that it performs just as good, actually worse, than a 5-year-old GPU,
Oh my God.
which is definitely not something that you would want for a GPU that was launched in 2022. So I think there is a small section of people where the ARC GPUs will be very good. People who specifically know the game that they want to play. I think for
Sure,
the
sure.
rest of the people, it's not worth it.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't get it because there's no machine learning support for it, right? I mean, that's basically where NVIDIA is kicking butt
Yeah.
by having these CUDA libraries that let you do machine
Yep.
learning. So
Yep.
it's DOA for me as a ML person. So
Yeah. Yeah. As more of like a person who does a little bit of ML and mostly gaming, especially when I'm not working. Uh, I
yeah,
think I think there is a point. It's always good to have a competitor in the market. Uh, I hope people buy it so that Intel keeps on making new GPUs, and there
sure.
is
Yep.
still competition. I am definitely not going to buy one though.
Yeah. All right. Well, for those in the chat, listening in here, please, go ahead, ask your questions in the chat. We can talk about DeepRacer, whatever you guys want to talk about. Right now, we're just going through a list of topics in the tech news. So I think we kind of settled it. Intel DOA for machine learning at this point in time. So
Yeah.
um,
Uh, on the topic of machine learning, someone actually calculated tensor core performance for the 4090 series, and apparently it is worse than the 4080 16 gig, which is interesting.
mhm.
And this is pulled from an NVIDIA ADA white paper. I can link the white paper. And that white paper basically, well, it does show that they have decreased the tensor core performance. Why do you think that might have happened? Do you think it's cannibalizing of sales?
Wait, what exactly happened? Let me
So
see here.
the tensor core performance on 4090 is lower than the 4080, or at least the 4080 16 gig.
Really?
Yeah,
Let me see.
I am.
Let me share. Let me try to share. This is my completely breaker stream. So I really want to do this. Let's try, right? Let me try to share this. Uh, 4090. Oh wait, I don't. No, I don't do it this way, right? Oh my goodness. Hold on. Give me 1 second here while I figure out what I'm doing. All right, I found the NVIDIA site. Okay. Let's see here. I'm just gonna read it. So 4090 has lower tensor core performance than the 4080. That is interesting. I'm gonna share the link in the chat so people see what we're talking about. Um,
Oh no, actually, I went through that thread. Uh, Apparently, that is incorrect information, and there was a typo in the NVIDIA ADA white paper that I think has been fixed now. So okay,
okay.
we can probably ignore that.
Oh, incorrect.
I,
This is
I won't be
incorrect here.
surprised if NVIDIA does that though. They have a history of cannibalizing their products. And a lot of NVIDIA products, especially on the higher end, like 4090 can compete with the Tesla or A6000 GPUs, A7000, whatever is the new generation.
Wait, the
But they have,
A6000s? The A6000? No, the A6000 was basically a 3090 with 48 gigs of RAM. Unless
right.
you,
So
yeah.
they can compete with them. The only difference is NVIDIA has logged drivers to the more premium versions of the
Mm,
GPU.
okay. But this has so many more CUDA cores. I mean, it's a substantial amount increase. Right? Isn't it like 16,000 versus the 10,000 and the 3090?
Yeah, but I think the performance is like the
It's
performance is
hobbled?
worse than, yeah, it's horrible. It's, or I won't say it's horrible, but it's not, the best drivers have not been released for the 3000 series because they want people who are into deep learning to buy the upper echelon of GPUs.
Got it. Oh, that's annoying.
The same thing that they did with LHR, which in general ended up being a good thing because gamers got what they wanted, but LHR is basically handicapping the GPU just on crypto mining.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's annoying. That is annoying. Um, well, I want to just take a break here and just go back to DeepRacer for a second, and I guess welcome any Student League participants that we may have here. A shout out to the Student League. They're in preseason right now. 2022 season ended a few weeks ago, and now they're in preseason. So, welcome everyone. If you guys are new to DeepRacer, make sure to subscribe. Subscribe to this channel so you can um, learn about DeepRacer, learn about how to train locally to save money, and make sure to check out my top 10 tips for DeepRacer. That's like a crash course in everything you need to know. So keep a lookout for that video. All right, well, let's see. Maybe we can do one more topic tonight and then call it a night. What else we got?
Okay. The new Intel 13 Gen processor is launched, as well as AMD ones. Any thoughts on that, Mr. Wolf?
Oh, you mean the new Ryzen, the 7000s?
Yep. As well as the Intel. Both of
Yeah,
them
yeah.
launched.
The Ryzen, I'm more familiar with the Ryzen one, to be honest. And yeah, I think it's a really interesting time for water cooling. Excuse me. Yeah, I think it's all about water cooling now. I mean, at least the way Linus was talking about it on LTT, the way these chips are, I guess, designed to thermal throttle, right? You need the best cooling on there, and I think water cooling is gonna, at least AIOs are gonna take off. And I'm on a Threadripper platform right now, and I don't see myself upgrading anytime soon. I might wait for the following generation once DDR5 prices come down, once the PSU, the power supply units, once that standard, you know, once everything becomes more commonplace. I think the new GPUs require like the new power supplies, and that's going to be really expensive to upgrade. And I just bought a couple of 1600-watt power supplies, and those things were expensive. So I have no desire to
Right.
upgrade anytime soon. So I'm going to be sticking it out. But the Ryzen, the 7000 series look really interesting. And if you're into water cooling, I think it's a great excuse to do it. To build the custom water cool loop.
And using the new TDP requirements on the CPU as well as the GPU side will reduce the price of PSUs.
Reduce the price? No, I don't think so. I think most people are not ready for those high TDPs, right?
Hmm.
Um, I mean, on Threadripper, I'm used to 250 watts. That's like standard, right?
Right.
So, but everyone, I also have like a cheapo CPU that's only 60 watts, right?
Right.
So anyone
Yep.
used to like 120 watt TDP is going to be in a big shock when they go to 250. Or even higher. I don't know. Like I don't know if there's like a maximum on that
Yeah,
thing
the
or not.
7950 goes up to 250.
Yeah, that's like Threadripper. I mean, I'm telling you right now, like I am not sponsored by them, but I kind of wish I was. I love Optimus. Optimus water blocks, amazing, right? I got that for my Threadripper. I have the
Optimus, if you're listening, please sponsor.
exactly. I need some new blocks. No, the Threadripper block is a beast. I mean, this thing is larger than a deck of playing cards, right?
Yeah.
It's huge. It weighs a few pounds, and that thing keeps my computer like nice and cold, right?
Yeah.
So I think people are gonna have it's gonna be a wake up call. Be like, wow, this AIO is not enough, right? I need
Hmm.
I need a heavy chunk of metal on my CPU, right? I think that's what people and I think Thermal Grizzly, excuse me. Again, I'm not sponsored by them, but I'll just say like I've used their Hydronaut, I've used their Cryonaut. That stuff works really well, right? I mean,
You
it's
have to
going to
do a
be a
liquid nitrogen cooling stream, like
oh, I don't know how to
Gamer's
do that.
Nexus.
Oh, that would be awesome. I would have to learn how to do that. I'd be so afraid of freezing
Oh,
my
I'm
hand
pretty sure
off.
it's dangerous if you don't know what you're doing.
Let's put it this way. I saw T2, Terminator 2 as a child. Um, I don't want my hand to freeze and then break into little pieces like like what happened in that movie. So
Hope you have that regenerative power like T2, like the Terminator.
oh my God, this is crazy. So oh my goodness.
But
Yeah, I saw
comparing
Linus did his not Linus, Steve,
Gamer's Nexus, yeah,
Gamers Nexus, right? Tech Jesus had his session with the AMD guys, and the AMD guy was just grabbing the liquid nitrogen with his bare hands, right, and just pouring it out of the thermos. I was like, dude, like you spilled that on yourself. Well, doesn't your skin like I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating, but I thought your
Mhm.
skin would just instantly freeze or something.
Yeah, that whole like he had this video with AMD guys, and then he had another one with NVIDIA recently, with the NVIDIA, I think one of the core architects of the NVIDIA GPUs. It was very informative. I didn't get the chance to watch the whole of it, but I think I watched half of it. It was pretty cool. What do you think about Intel versus AMD for productivity and for gaming now, right now, for the new gen?
What for? Oh, you mean from a CPU perspective?
Yeah,
Again, I think it's the whole thing where people are going to get caught by surprise with the TDP requirements, especially with, I guess, Intel CPUs have what processor and efficiency cores.
yeah,
And to get the max power, you have to have a PSU that can throttle up quickly. You need a motherboard that can handle that. And you need cooling, right?
yeah.
So I think it's going to be hard to do budget builds well, well, not that's not true. I'm sure there's always room for a budget build,
On
but
the latest gen, yeah, I think there is no budget build on the latest generation.
yeah, exactly, because you can't cheap out on the cooling essentially,
Yep.
right? And even on the PSU. And I used to joke, hey, I only buy 1600-watt power supplies, right? And of course, only platinum or higher, right? And now you know how much that costs, right? And I
Yep.
used to joke about that, right? But I don't think it's a joke anymore. I think you actually have to do that, which is crazy, right? I mean, that's a lot of
Right.
money.
Yeah. It's very interesting to see Intel's charts on gaming performance, where they compare the 13th gen with obviously the 12th gen,
Hmm.
and then the previous generation Ryzen, which was 5950X. They also have these lines on the chart that compare it with the 5800X 3D, and in a lot of plots, it's just as good as the 13th generation, sometimes even better. So I
Yeah,
think the budget will rise there. A 5800X 3D with a 3070, I feel like that, or not a budget, I guess, but like around $1,000 bill. I think that's the place where people want to be. I think that combo will last people like 5 to 6 years.
yeah. I mean, I think you're probably right. And I know you were telling me earlier about these XD chips, basically that are
Yeah.
great value. You just got
Yep.
to hold off and wait for it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's the kind of thing where it just makes sense to be wise with your money, right? Like, I mean, naturally, of course, I would prefer the 5950X equivalent, right? Or I guess 7950 is what they're
Yep.
gonna do. I mean, that would be the chip I would buy, but that's because I'm doing DeepRacer, right? So I need as many cores as I
Right.
can, and Threadripper is just outrageously expensive, right?
Yep.
And I mean, I built my Threadripper on a budget, so to speak.
Well,
I
moving
don't,
to 70, the 7000 series is also annoying because it's the whole DDR5 requirement and the new motherboard requirement. It's very annoying.
yeah, again, I would just wait another year. I wouldn't necessarily rush out. I wouldn't want to be an early adopter, right? This is going to be too expensive. Let people figure out the bugs and swoop in
Wait for
and
the DDR5 prices to drop.
yeah,
Interestingly,
yeah,
the new 7000 series was selling on Micro Center with free 16 gig DDR5 RAM,
really?
and that too 5600 megahertz. I'm like, their sales must have been absolutely terrible for it to be comboing with the DDR5 RAM in like 1 month of launch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's. I don't know. I really don't know. I have to admit, I'm in a bubble. I don't know what people actually buy. But if I were to build something budget, I would not. I mean, I wouldn't even be looking at the new lineup, right? It's just too expensive.
Yeah, yeah,
And
100%.
with the recession and the inflation, it just doesn't make sense to spend that much money on a high-end
I think
CPU unless you
I
need
think
it
if
for
you want to
work.
stick to like 600 to 700, I think the perfect point is of 12400 plus 3060 or 3060 Ti. I think that's the point. That's the point to be
Wait,
at.
which
And I
one?
think the 12400, which is like one below the
12.4.
12600.
Got it. For
I
on the
think that's
Intel
a
side. On the
yeah
Intel
on the
side.
Intel side. I think the AMD side. Well, now AMD has gotten cheaper, so maybe you can also like do a 5700X.
Well, I'm rocking, I did a budget build for a friend, uh, rocking the i3 10100F, right?
Hmm.
And it was funny because I think I don't know, it was Linus or Gamers Nexus was talking about a similar build, right? And I did it. I just happened to do it earlier.
Yep.
Again, not for YouTube, just for myself, right? Rocking the i3 10100F
Yeah.
plus a 3060 Ti in
Yep.
a fractal case. Um, with 16 gigs of RAM with RGB. So, you need the RGB for the faster performance, right? So,
Yep. Yep.
um, and that thing is perfectly good for gaming. Like, well, you don't need to buy more, right? Like, you throw a 3060 Ti with, what is this, quad core? I don't even know what this is. Yeah, quad core, you're fine. I mean, unless you, I don't know. Again, most kids, let's say, that's more than enough. It's gonna like destroy the performance compared to a laptop or an iPad or something, right? So,
Right.
you know,
This whole combo is so good. 12400 is retailing for 170, and then you can get a 3060 Ti for 300-ish, 325 used. So like 325, so that's like the whole of a very good bill for 500 bucks plus obviously the cost of the PSU and the case and all. But like 500 for CPU plus GPU that I think will last everyone for like the next 5 years. I think it's
yeah,
very good.
yeah,
Very good price.
exactly. And then you can go crazy and get the Alienware OLED TV screen, right? Or the QLED or QD OLED, whatever it is.
It's a very nice segue to I think the last topic of the night. LG
Oh
is
yeah,
going to start production of the 27 and 32-inch OLED panels. Your thoughts on that, Mr. Wolf?
that that's a good question. That's a good one. I mean, I have a 65-inch OLED TV. That thing is sick. And when you play video games on that, I mean, it's ridiculous,
Yeah,
right? So, but it's just a little impractical. 65 inches is just, that's too much, and for me
right.
anyway. So, 32 inches good. I have the Alienware, the new QD OLED or whatever it is,
Yeah, I think that's
QLED,
a Samsung panel though.
the Alienware, is
Yep.
it?
Yeah, that's a
It's pretty
Samsung
good.
panel.
I mean, it's not perfect black. It's definitely there is a difference with the OLED, but I mean, you're basically comparing Bugatti to McLaren or something. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. I don't know that. I'm not into
Yeah,
supercars,
yeah.
but you know what I mean? Like you're basically it's the
Right.
cream of the crop. I mean, like it's kind of silly. So, oh, yeah. So it is it is what it is, which is pretty silly stuff.
I think it'll be
Um,
interesting to get some more competition in that area because right now just Samsung that is making the QD OLED monitors,
mhm.
and their production line is I think 32, 34 inch, and this will be 27 and 32 inch. So it's obviously very good to get competition in the OLED space, which means cheaper monitors for everyone that are OLED.
Yeah, OLED is amazing, especially when you're gaming. Like
Right.
Forza Horizon looks incredibly realistic. YouTube
Yeah,
videos, like if you,
I have the same TV as you, right? Just one generation old. It's the same LG TV. I think the C9, I think, is the one that I have. You have the C10.
yeah,
And I have my PS5 connected to it, and I mainly use it for FIFA. But if I'm playing any other game that is more graphically intensive, you can really like see it's beautiful. Any TV show, it's amazing.
on the OLED, right?
Right, on the OLED.
Well, yeah, I mean, for example, like House of Dragons, people were complaining how dark it was. And I remember watching the show, that episode where it's like nighttime, and I was thinking to myself, man, I feel bad for anyone who doesn't have an OLED TV right now because it was extremely dark, right? So you
Yep.
needed the perfect black. So you needed that crazy dynamic contrast ratio. And then when they
Right,
had that starry
exactly.
night with the sky with the stars, I honestly thought I was looking up at the sky in real life. It was so crystal clear with the 4K, HDR image.
Well,
I was like,
I
I'm glad I got this TV. I mean, it's just, it's amazing. So
I think it helps
imagine,
to have a movie den.
well, Mr. Wolf needs his wolf den, that's my wolf den right there. So, but anyway, I think yeah, if prices come down, I think that'd be great. And at the smaller sizes, it's actually should be affordable, right?
Right.
Should be. So,
Oh, it'll probably not be affordable for the next 2 or 3 years, but it will start to drop down in price.
yeah. Well, it's, yeah, I don't know. Uh, I'm really curious to see what our viewers think. Leave comments in the video. Sometimes I feel a little guilty talking about the OLED TV and the Threadripper and all this stuff. I know I realize I'm in the 1%. Like if I look at the Steam computer survey. Like,
Yep.
all right, this is playing Fall Guys on a 24 core CPU and a 3090 is a little ridiculous.
You have to make one of those videos just to troll people.
Well, yeah, I was gonna play was it Mine. Did he still have Minesweeper or whatever or
Yeah, it's
Solitaire?
still on the Windows Store. You can get it.
Yeah, I'll install Solitaire and be like, the frame rate is really good on the 3090. Well,
10,000 FPS.
well, I think people might. Well, let's put it this way. A year ago, people would hate me if I said I have two 3090s on my system. Now, maybe not so much, but like it'd be crazy to install a second 3090 on this one and be like, oh, SLI for Minecraft.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want people to completely hate me. So,
Yeah.
but
I do
yeah.
like the QD OLED technology more. I'm just waiting for a 27-inch monitor that is also so like a 27-inch 4K 144 hertz is what I'm waiting for, and
Oh
then I
yeah,
can like directly upgrade to that.
that would be
I think
cool.
the Alienware that you have is a little too big for me. It's too wide. It's like a widescreen monitor. I'm waiting for one that is not widescreen.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Well, did you see the curved one? I think Linus was showcasing it.
Well, is that the one that like curves and you can change the curve
I don't know if you can change the
like a
curve.
flexing panel?
No, it was fixed, but you could hang it vertically.
Oh, right, that's the one from Samsung that is 48 inch.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that's insane. Uh,
That'll be bigger than my desk.
I really, I have what is this, 34 inch? I have a 34-inch Alienware, right?
Yeah,
I have to admit, I really want to get like the 40, is it the Odyssey, Samsung
Odyssey
Odyssey,
Neo or
which is
something
the
like
one that's
that.
like 42 inches wide or something,
Yeah, I think that's a
or
Samsung.
38. I don't know. I need the one that's the dual 27-inch screen ones. That would be nice.
Oh, the G9s or the G8s. I think the
Yeah, one of
G8 is
those.
27 inch.
Yeah,
I just
that
get the Odyssey Arc. I was wrong. It is not 48 inch. It is 55 inch.
55. That is
It's like a
so
TV.
that is ridiculous.
See,
I,
like
I mean, that is
I don't
ridiculous.
get why people would buy this thing. So this thing is 55 inch. It costs $3,300. Why would I get this? Why would I not just get the LG like last year's monitor, 55 inch, that would cost me 1,500 instead?
I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I mean, at the end of the day, you can also say like, what is the point of having a screen that big? I mean, it reminds me of? Reminds me of like audiophiles, right? The, right? And I know I heard you bought a special
I
headset for
dabbled in
yourself.
it a little bit.
You dabbled in it, yeah. But people who pay like hundreds of dollars for audio cables and burn them in, I'm like, it's a copper wire. You don't have to burn it in, right? It's
Yeah.
total bullshit. So I think sometimes like with these monitors, when you get that large for gaming, it's like, really? Do you really need that? I don't know. Like,
I mean,
anyway,
55 inches, it's going to be pretty immersive, but I guess like you don't need it for Fortnite. I think you can't play Fortnite or anything like that. I don't think that matters. I think if you're into
nah.
like first or single player games that are super immersive, like Red Dead Redemption, I think that is a lot of fun. Actually, like, what about Forza Horizon uh,
I
on a
have to,
55-inch curved monitor? I think that'll be pretty amazing.
I don't know if the game's built for that resolution. Like, I don't think it really would take advantage of it, to be honest with you.
I think
I
it's still
really,
4K. I don't think it's beyond, like, I don't think it's, yeah, it's a 4K monitor. So it's built for that resolution, yeah. It's still a
yeah,
4K monitor. It's like,
but
it's the same as like our OLED TVs.
I don't know. I think you need to do the ultra wide is the way to go because yeah, I think Forza Horizon looked good ultra wide. I mean, I don't know. Like I'll be honest, I have not had like three panels surrounding me, so maybe that is mind-blowingly amazing, right? And the other thing I realized is Forza Horizon's fun, but I got bored of it to be honest with you. I think I need to upgrade to Motorsport or something where it's a little more like
You need to get one of
intense.
those racing wheels and like
I
make
do have a racing
make a
wheel.
car inside your home.
So
No, with the pedals and all that.
I have the pedals.
It, so
You know what it is? I have like I used to watch, so sometimes you watch like these miners, like they're like, I have 50 GPUs, and they have GPUs in boxes they haven't even taken out of the box, right? And it's like, dude, come on, like, what are you doing, right? How do you have GPUs sitting around you're not even using?
yeah, use them
Um,
for mining.
well, I'm not saying the miners had so many they couldn't even plug it in. They were so busy,
Yeah,
right? And I realized that I bought a gaming wheel and I've had it in the closet for 6 months and I haven't even plugged it in yet. Let's put it this way, I'm hoping the gaming wheel is actually in the Amazon box because I haven't even opened the Amazon box. They could have shipped me an empty box, right? Like I didn't even open it. I was like, oh shit, I should just make sure that's even in there, right? That's how busy I've been. All right, well, I think we're gonna have to end it, guys. Thanks so much to everyone. Have a great night. Icy Fire, it's great chatting with you. Let's do this again. I really enjoyed our time. Take care.
yeah, definitely.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Good night. Bye bye.